The following program is intended for a mature listening audience. Graphic and explicit language may be heard at times. The views expressed and opinions given by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily express those of this station or sponsors. Listeners are advised that neither the station nor owners and agents will be held liable for the content of this program. Rebroadcast, redistributed, or reused without the express written permission without the host or producer is not allowed. You are listening to Family Spirit International.
Hey guys, welcome to Family Spirit International. We're going to start this week. Lee's running a little bit late, but I'm going to go ahead and do a new feature we've been talking about doing called the Darwin Awards. Just give everybody a good laugh to start off the night. All right, my first one, I read these today and they just had me cracking up. So I'm going to tell everybody else. You'll laugh. All right, the first one happened in Indianapolis, Indiana, in an electronics store. Well, this guy decided he was going to rob this electronics store at night when everybody was gone. Well, this idiot, where he wouldn't be recognized, he put a burlap sack over his face and went inside the store and tripped over everything because he could not see. So he finally realized after he hit his head on a couple of displays, hey, I might want to put some eye holes in here where I can see. So this idiot goes back, cut some holes in that burlap sack where he could see. Well, obviously he wasn't the brightest crayon in the box. No offense to my Marine brothers. But this dumbass carved two holes, but they weren't even. He had one that was up here, one that was down here. It was sort of like cockeyed on there. Well, he goes in there and robs the store. And the next morning, the employees come back and the manager's looking through videotape because they know they had been robbed. First thing they see is this idiot coming in there with this burlap sack on his head, falling and hitting his head. So they were all busting up laughing about that. Then they were laughing at him when he came back with the eye holes. What the thief did not know, and how stupid he was, why he is a recipient of the Darwin Award, or the Rory A. Dumbass Award, whatever you want to call it this week. And they realized the dude, it was their security guard because he didn't change his shoes or his pants that he did his security job in. So I had him dead to rights. So he gets arrested. Okay, that was my first Darwin. My second one happened in Texas. And then this one cracks me up. These two good old boys were riding down the road and their radio went out. So they blew a fuse. Well, you know, Billy Bob over here says, oh, I got some 22 bullets. Just to stick that in the thing and see if a radio worked. Well, of course it worked for a little bit. Then the thing heated up and shot him right in the beans and franks. So how do you explain that to your insurance company and the hospital? What happened to you? I put a bullet in my box and I shot myself. Oh my God. But my third one, it makes me laugh every time I read it. This happened in Intercourse, Pennsylvania, probably about 25 years ago. Well, dude was in the hospital, and he got something that made him real sick to his stomach. And you know, of course, he had diarrhea and all over the sheets, and you know, he got embarrassed. So he's going to throw him out the window when you can still open a window in a hospital building. They don't want you jumping out of them now for some reason. But yeah, he throws it down. There's a security guard across the street at the front of the the front of the hospital, watching this whole thing. And after he gets his good laugh out of it, he finally walks over there and asks the guy, says, what the hell are you doing? And the wino just looked at him and says, I think I just beat the shit out of a ghost. I'm like, oh my God, that is classic. But yeah, that's our first one. That's my first installment of. I'll have more next week. I just love when they write about stupid people and what stupid people do. It makes me laugh. And of course, the good Lord must have thought, hey, I like stupid people, so I'm going to make a whole bunch of them. And he did. I think he gets amusement out of them. But hey, who knows? But yeah, we got a good show for the other night. I do got a guest coming on. I think she just sent me a message. So hold on, let me check my messages. All right, hold on. I'm getting her in there. She was worried about being on video. I'll tell her she can just go straight audio, which will be fine.
She's already backstage.
Oh, okay. I'm just typing her real quick to let her know. Shit, if I could learn to type, I'd be dangerous, y'all. Come on, you. If I could type, I'd be dangerous. All right. All right. Now I'm back, y'all. All right. Hopefully we can bring her on. And hopefully Lee will be here in the next 5 or 6 minutes. Well, hi, Deb.
How are you?
I am good. Lee will be here in a minute. She went to help a coworker that she couldn't find. So she should be here in about, she said about 7:18. She's got about 8 minutes. But
that's fine.
yeah, it's good to have you on the show. My name's Blaine Rohan, by the way.
Well, hi, Blaine. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. And I hear we got something in common. Both of us are empathic mediums.
Yes, sirree. It's a blessing and a curse, as you know.
Well, I've always told people that I help with it. I said, look, if you embrace it, good, bad, or indifferent, it'll always be better for you.
Yes.
Because I remember being a child having it. It used to scare me to death.
Oh, yes. Oh, Lord, yes. I have many stories of childhood, and I did not know what was happening or what was going on. And even to this day, it still freaks me out.
Yeah, and like me, I grew up in Alabama, so we're right in the daggum belt of the Bible Belt.
Right.
And you couldn't say anything that you saw this ghost. And it made it worse. I lived right across the street from a cemetery.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, and it was an old, dilapidated one. Nobody knew who owned it. It was like the grass was all grown up. There were several broken graves where you could actually look down and see where they just, no coffin, just throw the bodies in there.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my childhood.
Well, we'll have to share stories sometime because I have some other creepy stuff that's comparable to that. But yeah, as an empath, that would be absolutely horrible to go through as a child.
It was like still this day, it is hard for me to go into crowds.
Oh, yeah.
Funeral homes. Both of those are, especially hospitals and funeral homes, they're torture for me because I hear everybody that ever had something done to them in that hospital or something when they died, how they died.
Oh my gosh, yes. I don't think people really understand it. Like every time I'm in a hospital or a funeral home, as you just mentioned, or a funeral parlor, I physically have to. I have to try to shut down my senses as much as I can.
Yeah,
which is virtually impossible.
Well, I'll teach you a little trick that was taught to me. Is actually you can curtail, not lose your energy, but there's a way you can curtail where you put 3 bubbles around yourself and call upon your ancestors, which you always have 7 generations of on mother's and father's side. So you can call on them. You can directly say, okay, look, I appreciate you want me to show what's wrong with you. Just tell me. I can heal you. I can see you. You do not have to show me. That's helped me a whole lot because it used to be overwhelming.
Yes. And, obviously we're humans as well. We're not just the title psychic empath, but as a human being, you get caught up in your everyday life, whether it's folding laundry or grocery shopping or picking your kids up. And when you're busy, sometimes you forget to put up those protection tools that we all have, and things come through regardless. But you have to just make it part of your everyday routine. But even then, I forget sometimes, and I'll be like, "Well, damn."
Yeah. Well, what I did, Deb, is I set limits. Okay, look. Okay, I'm in my bedroom. That's my safe space.
Right.
You know,
At
I will
100%.
be here tomorrow. If you got anything to tell me, I'll see you as soon as I walk out the door tomorrow morning. Because
Right.
literally out in the hall, they're there.
Right. Well,
Um,
what I've learned to do is I give them times of the day or times of the week, actually, when I'll be meditating.
nice.
And when I say meditating, that just for me means sitting in a quiet space, uninterrupted with technology, just in a quiet space. And sometimes I don't do a leaded meditation. Sometimes it's just quieting my mind down
Hmm.
and letting whatever wants to come talk to me come talk to me. So I have times a week where I set up with them, like, I know there's energy around me. I know you've been really angry because I haven't been listening to you, or your energy's all amped up. But tomorrow between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m., come visit me. It's like setting an appointment with spirits in a way. You know what
I
I mean?
know.
Like, you have to have an appointment with me before I'll give you my full attention.
Well, you know what's funny? I'm just the opposite. I can't sit still and do it, or I'll get
Oh,
bombarded. I have to
yeah.
listen to music, and the louder, the cruder it is, 80s metal. I don't know. That is my meditation. That's what calms me down.
Well, we all have our own thing. And
Yeah,
when I meditate, I like music in the background too. It depends on my mood.
yeah,
Sometimes I just want metal. And other times I want celestial music, with harps and all that. And other
sure.
times I don't want any music. Sometimes I just want the sound of nature, you
Yeah,
know. So it just depends on my mood and what frame of mind I'm in. But the bottom line is just setting aside time for them,
yeah,
because I feel like because we have these gifts, we have these gifts for a reason, right?
yeah.
So
We didn't ask for them.
if we totally ignore these gifts, it doesn't really work for us, because I've tried that for
No,
decades, trying to ignore it, and you just can't.
I think you're like me. You couldn't ignore it if you wanted to,
No, 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 no,
because I'll hear my spirit guide, Janawa. She's an old Cherokee Indian woman. Probably died about 800-900 years ago.
no.
That woman, when she speaks, I better listen, because
Yeah,
if not, she will bug the living crap out of me until I answer her. And
right,
usually I only get one or two chances. Then it's like, okay, doom. I'll take your gifts away for a whole day.
right, right,
She's done that
right.
before. That's sort of freaky to have gifts and all of a sudden not be able to have your gifts anymore because
Well,
you pissed off your spirit guide.
right, absolutely. Well, it's interesting that your main spirit guide is a Native American. Mine is as well. His name's Ortega.
Nice.
And when he first came to me, he has a really funny sense of humor, because, hey, I'm your spirit guide, the main one. And he goes, my name is Ortega, but it's not like taco, the taco company. And I started laughing, like,
Oh my God,
what?
that's good.
I started laughing, like, what? Because I couldn't hear him clearly. It sounded like he was saying Orega, Motega, and then it goes Ortega. And he goes, it's not the taco company. And I started laughing. I'm like, okay, got ya. So
See,
that's
that I
just,
would have remembered. It's like, okay, I've got a cool spirit guide. He got jokes. I like that.
oh, yeah. I think the best way to get to me and everyone who knows me, like, I appreciate someone with a good sense of humor,
Yes.
because if you can't laugh at yourself, you can't really laugh with the world. So I
No,
like
no,
people who have
and I laugh at myself every day. If I do something
yes,
stupid, I will laugh at myself and say, God, that was dumb. What did you do that
yes,
for?
yes, yes. I'm with you 100%. So humor
And
is a
Jenna
way to
will
my
give me a
heart.
smart ass remark like, well, I taught you better than that.
That's hilarious.
I was like, God, you're just a trip, lady. I love her.
Oh,
I love having her. I mean, God, she has helped me out of so many situations with spirits,
yes,
fighting
yeah,
the nasty ones, the funny
yeah,
ones. The nasty ones she gets in, and you can ask Lee about this. I don't know if you saw Lee's show Repossessed.
yes. Oh my gosh, I
Okay,
watched
the
the
eighth episode where they've got the SLS camera, and she says, "My spirit guide Janawa." Well, what didn't happen? It was her spirit guide Mimi and my spirit guide Janawa beating the crap out of the spirit. I mean, it was funny to watch.
really.
She said that those two, it looked like one of those cartoons where cats are fighting.
I'm trying to remember that episode. I mean, I binge watched the whole
Oh God, I have
series.
too. I probably watched it like 10 times.
I remember the SLS thing. I don't remember that specific scene there, but like I said, I binge watched it all in one day.
Well, it just made me so proud that it's funny. I was a consultant for the show, but never made it on air. My spirit guide makes it on twice.
That's funny. Like, I will rep for you one way or the other. Either you're going to be on or I'm going to be on, but we're getting on this show.
Exactly. And I just cracked up with Janawa and Minnie, and just beating the crap. She said they filmed it for like 15, 20 minutes, and they didn't show the whole thing on TV because of time constraints. They said those two were just ripping that damn spirit apart. I was like, God, that's a mean little woman, both of them.
Well, that's great, because I would love to see that sometime. I'd love to see my spirit guide kicking ass. That would be amazing.
Then that's one of the things I love about being an empath medium. I get to watch that, especially when you got spirits that were just, dumb, stupid, mean when they were alive.
Right. And they haven't changed.
And I love it when I try to cross one of them over and say, look, you need to go on. You need to go with this little short Native American woman. I don't want to. I said, if she's there, you probably don't have much of a choice.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
And I've watched her drag, I don't know, several 100,000, I don't know, spirits out of the way.
That's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. How long have you known that you had this gift? May I ask?
I'm almost 58 since I was 4. The first instance I can remember, like I said, we grew up across from a graveyard, and we used to go over there and pick blackberries and plums because they were wild and they were free and they were good.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother was with me, and this is a busy street we lived on, so you definitely had to look both ways for your cross, because it was coming right off a corner into a straightaway right from the graveyard to where our house was. So if you didn't look, you were going to get tattooed by a car.
Mm.
Oh, wait, my wife got tattooed by a car about a month ago.
Oh, no.
Yeah, some idiot hit her in a crosswalk.
Oh, no. Is she all right?
With the walk sign on, too.
Oh, no. Is she all right?
She's fine. She's got some little minor injuries. I'm surprised she didn't split her head wide open as hard as she hit the concrete when it pushed her to the ground.
Ooh.
Yeah, but besides that, she's doing okay, a little by little. But yeah, we were over there picking blackberries and plums, and my grandmother she stopped me and told me to wait, and then she crossed. And then as soon as she crossed the road, I heard this lady crying, and I just looked over to my left side, and I saw this lady in a beautiful white dress bent over this grave. She was crying. Since I'm a little Southern kid, we got all manners and, all that stuff. So I went up to her and said, ma'am, are you okay? And I'll never forget this. She looked at me with tears in her eyes, smiled at me, says, I'm okay, baby. And as soon as she said that, she was like, poof, she was gone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild.
And then my grandmother, of course, she's standing across the street. She saw her first, but she didn't know that I had the gift until then.
Mm-hmm.
She said she'd always suspected it, but had never confirmed, and that confirmed it to her. And when I crossed the street, back to her, she says, you saw her, didn't you? I said, Mama, you watched me go talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, okay, you do have the gift then. Okay. Because not a lot of males get the gift, especially if it's female dominated.
Right.
Like
right.
Lee's family. I was one of the few exceptions that got it. And I got it so strong that my grandmother even told me, she says, you're stronger than I am. I was like, really? So, damn, you've been doing this for years. But when I was little, my grandmother used to be a medicine woman. People come to the house because it was cheaper to go see her than was an actual doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And, she'd give them all these potions and herbs and stuff. And she was real good at predicting what sex your baby was going to be. Well, I'll never forget this. I was probably like 5, and this lady came in. I said, lady, you're going to have 2. She looked at me like, what? I said, I see 2 babies. I was 5. I didn't know the difference to know how many babies come out.
Right, right. That's amazing.
And she went to her doctor, and the doctor said, you're having twins. And she come back and looked at me, came back to the house, says, I don't know how you knew, but yeah, I'm having a twin, boy and a girl. I said, I've seen them. I see them.
That's really brave of you, because growing up in the South, now we're transplant Southerners now, but I mean, I have lots of relatives who are Southern.
Yeah.
And the problem with the Bible Belt is there's lots of judgment, and you don't want to be judged by these Bible thumpers because they
Oh
can.
no!
And
If anybody knows anything about the South, there's like a church on every corner.
oh my gosh, yes.
Even
Which
if you're in the
I
most
don't.
rural of areas, there's going to be at least 4 churches in that little rural
Yes.
area.
Which
And if you're in a
I
big
don't.
city, you could just forget counting how many different churches there are.
Well, I don't think it's a bad thing to have God
No,
and whatever religious, but what comes with that is some of them are so judgmental. I don't really think they understand the word of God
well,
because
let me tell you another funny story, all right, about the church. All right, my uncle, he had died. Okay, and we're at the wake at his wife's house, and he was a very jealous man.
Mhm.
2 people from the church come up to the door. I'll never forget this. I was probably about 5 or 6 years old, and I watch them open the door. I see the 2 men there. I watch this vase on the mantle lift up off the mantle off the fireplace and hurl toward the door. He didn't like
What?
those. He didn't want that. He was jealous of men. He didn't care if they from the church or from the devil himself. They come to his house. He didn't like it. And I can tell you this: to this day, they haven't come back to her house.
I guess not.
Hey, Deb.
Hi, Leitreanna.
Oh,
Hey,
Lynn.
I'm here. You know
Oh,
what? I'm always faster than GPS. You know, when you put
yeah, sure.
everything into Google Maps and you're driving.
Well, the GPS only lists you at 55 miles an hour. That's why.
Oh, well.
Uh-huh.
That
Because I know
tells
better than
me.
that, Lou Brown.
That explains that.
Hey, I just want to
Okay.
explain to you guys why I don't want to be on camera tonight, and Lee knows why. But
Mhm.
I told her earlier today, I said I've had those god awful allergy attacks the last couple of days, and I'm so high on cold meds and allergy meds, and I said
I know it.
I'm a boogery mess. I really don't think I should be seen on camera by anyone.
Well, Deb, you
So
need to go to somebody local to you and get some localized honey and
Tell it,
drink it with some
Blaine.
hot tea because that'll help you get immunity to the pollen that's around your area. So, yeah, I have to
I've
do it
heard that
myself.
I've heard that, and I do need to get on that. Kroger's doesn't have local; they have
You can
honey.
look up on Marketplace on Facebook and find somebody that sells honey.
Yeah,
Well,
Local. Yeah,
absolutely.
there's plenty of farmers markets around here, but
that'll work.
I'm not an early bird. So
I'm not either.
I'm like,
Here's you an idea. You can get some dandelions, the yellow dandelions,
yes,
okay?
yes,
And then cut the bottom off of it and just use the pretty yellow flowers, okay?
okay,
Steep it in hot water. You can even put it in a tea, one of those little balls, that you put the tea in. Put
right,
regular tea with it if you want.
okay,
And I know people that use that and they make it with like a fruit pectin and make it into a sunshine honey is what it's called. And it keeps you from, hey, Todd Garver. Hey, Todd, thanks for watching. And it keeps you from getting sick. It's great in the winter.
I will give that a shot. I'm really
Mhm.
trying literally everything Zyrtec.
Yeah, that stuff after a while, your body just it gets immunity to it. It's like
Yep.
Oh
most
my
people can't
gosh.
take amoxicillin after the
Yep.
first time because your body just rejects it after the
Well,
first time.
I was on that Zyrtex for a while, and then I'm on Claritin. Now I start like doubling up on my Claritin. Like, I don't know what this is doing to my body biologically, but if I take 2, it helps. You're only supposed to take 1,
Well,
but
if you
yeah.
can't find the honey, switch over to oh shoot, what is that other one? Not Claritin. Claritin doesn't work after a couple times.
Oh,
Oh,
I had to use Zyzan. I use Singular
Zyzan's a good
and
one. Yeah.
Zyzan.
I'll
And the
give it a
two of
shot.
them, you can double up on those two. It's pretty cool. Hey, Gwen Johns. Hey, Margie Blaylock and
Well, hello,
David.
everybody.
Yes. Thank you for watching. We love you. I'm reaching for my cards because I've been wanting to give you a reading, Deb, for a
Oh
long time.
my gosh, I'm thrilled. Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
please.
had some good results through these readings, through these cards, so that's why we love them.
And I know that it looks kind of cheesy for me to read directly out of the book,
No,
but
no,
um,
go
but
ahead.
there's a reason because it gives more insight, and there's a really lovely poem at the end of each one. And I can't memorize all that with all of these cards, So I'm just gonna do it my way. It's a
All
free
right,
reading. So
I will
okay,
take it.
those of you listening, I would don't mind doing a one card reading, and Blaine too. So he might be able to chime in. We usually do just about everything hand in hand. He's my buddy, and I love his wife Jennifer. Oh my God, she's adorable. Deb, if there's ever a chance for the all of us to be hanging out, your
Oh my
husband and you,
gosh,
Blaine and
yes.
Jennifer and me and Matt. Oh my gosh,
I'm telling you, it's coming. It's
Yeah.
coming.
yeah, it's coming. I'm thinking about it,
I,
praying about it.
I mean, there's gonna be an opportunity, and we will all be there at the same time, and the clouds will part, and the sun will shine down on us.
We're gonna have
Hey,
it.
hey, do you mind if I tell them what happened today, Lee?
That was the craziest thing.
Uh,
Blaine might remember my maiden
Okay.
name, but if he doesn't, he'll probably remember.
Okay, so get this, Blaine. So
Mhm.
I'm sitting on my patio. We were just talking about meditation. I do this every day. I go out there and sit quietly. And I was done with my work for today, so I went outside on my patio with a little cup of ice water. And I'm just like, listening to nature. And I thought, oh, I check my phone and I'm not on Facebook 24/7 like some people are. No offense to who are, but I'm just
Well,
not.
you're a busy lady.
So yeah, so I thought I'm gonna just check my phone, and I don't have notifications on my phone. I don't want to know if people need me. I mean, that sounds terrible, but I have my private time and time for work. So
Yes.
I just happened to look and I thought, oh, I've got a message on Messenger. So I opened it's Leitreanna, and I said, well, and then she has this link to this, your show, and as I'm trying to read, clicking on it, a deer runs through our backyard, stops for about 2 seconds right on the other side of our fence. I'm like, whoa. So I took a quick picture, and then it ran off. Then I'm messaging this, and then the deer comes back when she responds. And I think that's so weird. A deer. I mean, just to stop for there's always a I told her I don't believe in coincidence, but
Yeah.
I believe in signs. And
Okay.
everything happens for a reason. And I just instinctively knew that deer was a sign of something more than just a deer hiking through our backyard.
You want me to tell you what it is?
I Go ahead. I already know, but go
It is
ahead.
one of your spirit animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a little more. My indigenous name as a child, given to me by Chief Henry Lambert of the North Carolina Cherokee Nation, was Little Deer because I had long, stupid, crazy, long, lanky legs.
Isn't that wild? I mean, that's
And
so wild.
yeah, so it was really cool. I
Yeah.
thought it was really cool.
Yeah. I just thought, what are the odds of that? Right when I'm, corresponding with her through private message, this deer just stops. And when I was trying to like get my camera phone on, it was perfectly posed, and it turned and I shot its rear end actually because that's how I took a picture. But I was like trying to hurry up, like, oh, there's a deer. And then it turned as a rear shot. But it was just fun to me. And I just knew like there's more to this.
Yeah,
As you know, as an empath and a psychic, like you kind of have these physical signs on your own body when you
that's
know
right.
something's more than just a deer walk through yard. And
Yeah.
I had goosebumps running up and down my arms, up my spine. And when I tell people, I call it my spidey senses.
Yeah.
Yeah. See
When
the deer butt?
yeah, my spidey senses were tingling. I'm like, oh, this is more than just a deer. There's some serious symbolism here.
Oh yeah.
So I just thought that I'd want to share that with you real quick because I don't know, it kind of freaked me out a little bit. Even though I do what I do, I thought it was a little odd.
Yeah. I've done this for so long too, Deb, that I still get amazed by stuff I get to hear and see. It's like, okay, I didn't see that yesterday. That's pretty cool.
Right, right. Well, I think it's wonderful. I mean, I'm 58 too, by the way, Blaine,
Right on.
and it took me, almost 58 years of my life to finally reconcile that this gift is truly a gift because most of my life I never really felt it was a gift. As a child, I thought it was awful. But as an adult, I'm starting to look back on my life and I think, no, this is a wonderful gift because I get to see glimpses into worlds where most people don't.
Exactly.
And even so, some of those glimpses are scary, but I'm able to separate myself from the negativity and the fear associated with that. But also, I get to see some of the most glorious things ever imagined because of
Oh,
my
that is
gift.
true. That is so true. God, that's true.
And so I'm just thrilled that, like, no, this is amazing. I want to share this with the world, and we can talk about it later. I'm just trying to find a good way to do that. But anyway, let's get back to your card reading. I want this
No
reading.
problem. Yeah, this is going to be fun. Deb has been on a lot of different television shows. One in particular is about our children. They have
Yes.
something in common.
Yes.
They can remember their past life, and my daughter and my son can. So, yeah, it's pretty amazing that we have that similarity. And she was also on Haunted Story,
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
Haunted Story,
Yeah.
and that was really scary what she experienced. And she was phenomenal on camera. What are the other ones?
A haunting. I was in a couple episodes of A
Haunted.
Haunting, and then of course the show you just mentioned, A Ghost Inside My Child, which is about our children's past life. I was on a show called Ghost Detectives, which is on Roku. I've been on a documentary on A&E, but it was so long ago, I don't really remember. It was a long time ago. It was like when Nick was in middle school, and he's almost 30 now. So,
Jeez.
yeah, and
He's a handsome man. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
thank you, thank
Beautiful
you.
child.
And that was probably one of the most scariest investigations that I've ever been on. But anyway, yeah, just some local stuff. No, nothing real big.
Well, here we go. Okay.
All right, hit me with it, sister.
All right.
I want the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Come on. Blaine, they're sticking together.
You know what happens when they stick. You got to do
Yeah.
two.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, the universe is saying take two. So hey, go ahead just to buy the name of the universe.
Why is this sticking together? It's up there. Okay, let's see what we got.
Well, hey,
I got 4.
I'm a chick that's all about excess. So, and doing things, extra, as the young kids call it, going extra. I'm extra. So this
Well,
makes perfect sense to me.
okay. Well, I'm just going to tell you what the first card is totally you. Blaine, I'm surprised I didn't pull this one for you. It's casting bones. Do you know how to do that where you cast bones and can get a yes or no answer and read them?
Yes, I do.
I do too.
I don't know.
Well, what this card means is surprise, surprise, divination.
Well, that's
Yes,
interesting.
yes. So the first one here is divination, and I'm just going to read right out of it. I know it's cheesy, but guess what? Bones. Bones for casting, 28. I wouldn't have expected it to be under, bones. I thought it would be under divination.
Well,
But
bones is just another way of divination. So
it is. It
Yeah.
is. It's a representation. These are the cards that I'm reading from.
Okay.
Shamanic medicine. I love these. Brandon Cooper, our producer, gave me a different set, and I'm trying to kind of move into those cards. You know what I mean? But these are still amazing. It says you're being thrown a bone here. Ritual casting or cleromancy of crystals, beans, sticks, or bones, and the interpretation of omens. Isn't that what you're just talking about? Omens.
Yes.
Have always been used by shamans to assist with the changes and challenges of life. It's time to open your eyes to the world around you and stop relying on modern technology to life's answers. The world of spirit is asking you to remember and open your awareness on the natural messages that are staring you in the face.
Oh my gosh.
That's insane.
How odd. I mean, again, I don't believe in coincidence
This is
for
right on
obvious reasons.
I hope you guys are able to see this because this is crazy. The true art of divination comes from being aware of everything around you, as you well know, obviously. Make it a habit to ask spirits and the forces of nature for their advice that you seek. They will hear you and respond to your call, but you need to take notice to fully hone your intuition and trust what you see. Go outside and observe. Isn't that what you just said? Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
By noticing the natural signs, falling in the leaves, cloud formation, animals that go by.
Oh, no way. No way.
It's right here. I got my finger on it, but anyway, oh my gosh, this is why I don't try to memorize it, because things like that happen. It's insane. You will grow more sensitive to every aspect of the natural world and its magic. Your senses will become alive. Throwing the bones in ancient practice used by many diviners, herbalists, and spiritual mediums throughout Africa, Asia, and North America. Natural and man made bones, such as bones, shells, nuts, coins, and stones, can be used. The practitioner observes how and where the objects land, noting any pattern they form. The divination objects are kept in a basket, bowl, bag, or placed on an altar. These sacred tools are respected and honored in hoodoo practices and root doctors of Southern America. Pay attention to your signs and messages that you have been asking for. Oh my God, it's like this.
I'm just sitting here, my mouth just hit the floor.
Yeah. Because they are staring you in the face. Ask spirit and the forces of nature for advice and knowledge. Be observant. Trust your intuition. You already know the answers. Oh God, I just got a chill all over.
I just when you said that, my right arm is full of goosebumps.
I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't think the camera's that good, but my hair's standing straight up. Now
Yeah, so is both of my arms. So yeah, I told you everyone we've done it's been so dead accurate. It's
almost scary.
It's what's so cool about it. And dang.
I mean, I know the audience can't. I mean, this really happened. This is real life. What I just described to the show a few minutes ago about, opening up your private message. Here's a deer posing for a picture for me. I mean, and then this card, it almost is like, this is too true. I don't know. Just.
It's insane. It's mind blowing. Okay, here's your poem.
All right.
Lots are cast. Now watch me land. Messages you understand. Signs in nature wait for you. Spirit shows you what is true.
Whoa.
See what I mean? I love this.
Wow.
Woo, it's right.
Oh my gosh. Now that we've gotten on the same page, the cards are with us, I think. Okay.
Yes.
The next one is called Journey.
Okay.
And this is also imagination. I think, Deb, I think you've got a gift opening up. You feel it too, Blaine? I do.
Mm-hmm.
I'll share something with you guys when you're done with this card reading, but what I wanted to talk to you about is about how I'm going to share my gifts.
Well, there you are. Let's see if this thing already knows. Maybe it does. Got some advice.
I'm open, willing, and want to hear it.
Well, this is worth what you paid for it. So you take what you want from it. I hope it blesses you, right? Okay, so the journey. A new gateway has opened. You are invited to step into an unexplored world with new perspective. Have faith, for journey will guide you safely and valiantly through unfamiliar territories. You may be blinded for a while as you stumble through the unknown, but continue to trust. Know that you're being led to the adventure you seek. Oh my gosh. It's time to stop playing it safe. Your dreams can only be realized if you dare to explore unfamiliar avenues. Okay. Imagine. Your imagination is the key. Journey invites you to meet the mystical beings and guides and totems. Blaine, now you just talked about her animal spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see, where did I go? Okay, the guides and totems you've been longing to connect with. As you traverse through other worlds, you will be amazed by the wonders you see. These marvels have been in your imagination, waiting to be seen. Who told you to ignore the pictures and scenes that play in your mind? Trust in the visionary you truly are. You're not making this up. When journey appears, it brings the thrill of the new experience. Oh gosh, you're going to have so much fun with this. Woo! The shamanic journey begins when you have a shift of consciousness and the desire to discover your inner self, missing parts of the soul, the ancestors. When you bring in ancestors, it gets real. It gets quick,
Yeah.
real quick. Healing, lost power, and your animal spirits. Boom, Blaine. Trust your visions. Everything in your imagination is real. Focus on what you wish to bring into your life. Your manifestation skills are strong. And you and I've been working on that for a bit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, thank goodness. Your manifestation skills are strong. So be careful with your thoughts and projections. I've been trying to say that now for a while. What you speak into creation is not always a I've got some people around me that just, me, and
Right.
they get upset. They don't understand that what they speak into the world can be the birth of something very negative.
Right.
So,
Well, the word spell, like you're spelling a word,
yeah,
is the same as casting a spell. Even your thoughts have energy, right?
Yeah.
that's
So
exactly right.
if you come from a place of jealousy and egotism, like you're egocentric and you're competitive with other people, and that's just no bueno. That's not good. That's no good.
A lot of
And even
people cast things on themselves. People, it's
exactly,
horrible. The things I've heard
exactly.
people say. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
So it says this experience opens a whole world of possibilities for you. Here's your poem.
All right.
Adventures here, so close your eyes. Fall down tunnels, fly through the skies. Imagination is the key. Trust, believe, and you shall see.
I am almost gonna start crying here.
I love it. Love it. And that's the one that was stuck to the other one. And this one, these two were stuck together. I
All right.
usually only do like two. This one is called Buried in the Earth. Okay, this is moving forward. This does not mean death. This is called transference. I use a lot of transference in the ceremonies that I do. I even use um like take for instance, I've been dealing with something and I would use an object or a doll as a form of pulling something out of somewhere that doesn't want to go. It's sort of a decoy type thing. Okay. Well, this one is not necessarily a decoy, but it's a fresh start. Sometimes
Okay.
you've got to be able to close in on something in order to be reborn. In
Right.
fact, a lot of shaman, I don't know why they would do this because this girl ain't doing this. I can promise you that. But they have been buried with a straw for breathing for a certain period of time in some sort of vision quest in order to be reborn. It's a way
Right.
of doing some heavy grounding. So let's
Right.
see what this thing says because I won't be part of you burying yourself. You can just get over that one. Because that ain't flying. No, thank you. Okay, so dig deep to find what is hidden beneath the surface. Now, we talked about that.
Yes.
Interesting. This is true of family in the This is true of family in the present and more poignantly from the past. These stories, experiences, and circumstances have contributed greatly to what is currently happening in your life, as well as who you are and how you deal with these things. Being ceremonial buried, and see, I like that ceremonial buried with objects that have a direct connection to your ancestors is not for the faint of heart, but it is very powerful rite of passage. Ancestors can include anyone you hold in high regard or had profound influence on your life. Okay, that was one of the reasons why a lot of shaman use the blanket for a
Ah.
ceremony because it is surrounding you and grounding you. And it's to usually it's something that's passed down because it is representational of your ancestors passing
Right.
knowledge to you. So you're calling on an ancestor and you're having some things stripped back. Remember, I told you were opening a gift. Well, here it is.
Yes.
When you're stripped back emotionally within the sanctuary of Mother Earth, which means you're grounding everything, you're willing to start from the beginning.
Right.
The energy of those that hold you dear is transferred to you. Because we talked
Wow.
about some people that were uh, really not on. They had some stinking thinking. We all
Yes.
have those.
Yes.
So just that needs to go. That has to just push it away from your life. As it,
I need practice on that because when people turn against you or turn on you or betray your trust or whatever, some people can just let it roll off their shoulders.
Yeah.
But for me, it cuts so deep.
Yeah, because
I know the feeling. Oh my
you're
gosh.
like both of us. You're very gifted, so your emotions are very strong,
Yes.
and you don't. You're like me. You don't take well to people trying to hurt you
No,
or
no, no,
or
no.
make up lies about you. It really hurts us a lot.
It really does. I don't think people realize it. And when people make offhanded remarks or they think they're being funny or clever and it
Hmm.
hurts you,
Yeah.
it can destroy me for an entire day. And I know
Yeah.
that sounds like childish and
No,
small
it
No.
minded,
actually is not though, because
but it really does. I mean, I can just be in a great mood in the morning and someone will say something that I feel is cruel or unnecessary and it can just sink me. And I have to really practice, and I've practiced this for 58 years, how to pull myself out of that
one
feeling.
of the
But
ways I do, Deb, that'll help you when somebody does that to you. Think of something that makes you laugh. Think about
right.
something your kids did when they were little, just had you rolling. Um, that's what I do. My daughter was pure comedy when she was a child.
Oh, so is my son.
Yeah,
And he
and
still is.
I actually made the mistake when she was 3 years old of putting Barney on. She looked at me like I stole every piece of candy she had, and looked at me and went, "Dad, that insults my intelligence. I'm not watching this stupid dinosaur." I'm like, "That's my child. So I never had to watch Barney ever again."
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, every time I get upset, I think about that. Or I wasn't too happy over the time it happened, but back in the '80s when she was born, VCRs were like, the thing, and they were high as hell. They were like $1,300, $1,400.
Right.
Well, I was in the military, so we didn't make much money anyway. So,
Right. Right.
but I got one, brought it home, where I could play Disney movies for. Well, what does she do? She sticks a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in the thing.
Oh no.
Yep. And I thought, oh my God, there's $1,300 just gone.
Yeah.
But luckily, not very much of it got in there. But yeah, she'll still bring that up every now and then. Says, "Dad, how's your VCR doing?" I was like, "You little shit."
Well, oddly enough, my son did the same thing to ours, but
Oh,
he used oatmeal.
oh
Oh
God.
gosh.
Yep, oatmeal jammed in there.
Whoa.
So, yep, yep. I think we all have the stories of our
Yeah.
kids innocently or maybe not so innocently.
But see, that stuff like that helps you change your mindset and
It
gets you into a more
does.
positive mood. Or find like a funny TV show that makes you laugh every time you watch it. Or think about your favorite type of music or any kind of music. And that's how I get rid of that
That's a
pissed off, like, okay, I'm not going to go on a shooting spree today.
right, right. Well, it's
Yeah,
just
I get it.
I've tried those tricks before, and sometimes they work, and sometimes they don't. It just depends on who's delivering it to you.
Yeah,
Or if it's a stranger, it doesn't bother me. I can't let that roll off my shoulders because I don't know what their life's like. I don't know what
yeah,
kind of day they've had. But it's when like loved ones or someone or a friend who you have supported for decades just
yeah,
turns on you, and you intuitively know it's their own jealousy.
Yes.
yes,
It's
exactly.
just, and
Those
because it's so hurtful because you would never do that to someone.
No,
right.
So it's really
Never.
hard for you to figure it. I always tell my kids, like, before you get angry with someone, try to walk in their shoes, try to get in their head a little bit and realize where they're coming from, what they've had to endure, so you have a little bit more sympathy or empathy for them.
yes,
But in situations like this, and I try to do, I'm like, I can't go there. I just don't know how to do
You
that.
know,
yeah,
So
what happens to me is kind of weird, but I know that I have certain. I have.
go ahead, spill it.
I first of all, I have a natural shield,
Right.
and I've worked on it, and it's there all the time. And I also believe and feel and have had evidence of being able to speak something into existence. That's
Mm-hmm.
always a positive thing.
Yes.
And people say, okay, you see that person, they're shaman, don't piss them off. Do not piss them off. And so, first thing that happens to me if somebody starts that stuff, I'm like, oh my God, please don't do that. Please don't do
Yes.
that because something's about to happen and I can't stop it. You're getting
Right.
ready to have a really bad day.
Right.
And
Right.
I've had people, bush caught on fire in the front yard.
Wow.
The battery in their car blew up. Um, they've tripped over the gas pump, the little, not the cord, but the hose, you
Right.
know, and had to end up, going to the ER because they
Oh my
gashed their knee.
gosh.
I mean, just stupid stuff that
But you know what?
happens.
I don't, Lee, I don't think it's your fault or anyone's fault. I think that's just karma in action.
I do too.
But I also think some of us are able to manifest that karma, so to speak,
Oh yeah.
much quicker than others.
I have a shirt that says, "I saw that karma."
I like that.
Yeah, but
So I don't think it's like anything you should take on yourself as a guilt feeling. I feel like it's just your
uh,
energy allows that karma to manifest much faster than just Joe
Yep.
Blow.
Yep, it does. It just lets it flow through her energy field, out her to the universe.
Which I think is wonderful. And I think we all need to feel our own. I mean, what we've wished on others, we also have to wish on ourselves, right? So like if you know someone's being cruel to you and immediately, because we are humans, react from a place of ego and you think, well, F you, I hope you run into a tree today. But you don't legitimately want them to run into a tree. But karma just has a way of getting out there, and also that means what we just wish that person. Well, we're not always nice to people. You could be in a grocery lane, someone cuts her in front of you, and I don't immediately send out a blessing to them. I'm immediately
Right.
like, well, hey lady, so what we wish on others we're also wishing on ourselves. So
Tenfold.
so I feel like if you live a life where you genuinely and authentically are trying to help others, and despite your own flaws, which we all have, you're good.
Oh yeah.
But when you come from a place of oh, I know she's getting something over on me, or blah blah blah, that's not good. And so karma tends to come much quicker to those types of people.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this about me and myself and Lee, is both of us, if we really wanted to, karma wise, we could really hurt people, but
Right.
I don't want that tenfold back on me.
Exactly.
I don't mean to. It's
Yeah.
Oh,
just,
I don't think
No, if
you
I do it, I
do.
mean it. Believe me. I've already thought of the consequences going to come back on me tenfold, but it's like, yeah, that's worth it.
Well, I think we've all been there, but people are people, and
Yeah.
we're not all on the same path, and we're not on the same journey. So I also remind myself of that. Like when people are not kind, I think, well, they're not on the same path as me. I'm not elevating myself above them. They just have chosen a different path,
Sure.
and that path is their own life lessons to learn. And if they decide to become kind and more compassionate, then they can join me back on my path. That's kind of what I mentally do when people are cruel. I just think, well, you go your own way. I'm sending you love and healing, and
Yeah.
I'm going to go my way.
Exactly.
yeah, I tell
Because
people,
sometimes, go
I
ahead,
wish
Lee.
I say I wish you nothing but blessings and success. I
Right.
just got to get that out of my field. In fact, when I say my field, around me, because
Right.
I feel energy all the time, and it feels like sonar when something goes off like that. It's like, now wait a
Yep.
minute, that doesn't feel right. Something's wrong here. What are you
Right.
trying to say? And when that happens, I have a tendency to throw my hand up and go, stop,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want that energy coming. And I'm talking to the energy, and I'll even throw back, stop. I said, we're on different pages. I wish you blessings and success. We'll talk later. Call me when you get through being mad at me.
Right. Right.
Yeah, just call me when you get through being mad at me. Let me know when you're ready to talk. And
Right.
then that way I don't,
You're
have
not
some.
owning it.
yeah, some chaos magic come busting out of me, and I don't want to hurt anybody. It's
Right.
very concerning. But back to the card, I'm going to give you
Okay,
your little
sorry.
thingy.
We went on a
It
little.
says,
We just went our own little weird path, didn't
That's
we?
all right.
"Oh yeah,
Great show.
I hold you here in darkened silence, strip from you all pain and violence. Replenish your soul with wisdom's true. Now rise again, a stronger you."
Like the phoenix.
Yes.
Yes.
And the last one is very cool for you. It's abundance. It's the South, and it's abundance. So has a wonderful message because, whoops, I went past it. Because it's about abundance, about the sun, about happiness, about blessings and success and love. Let's see. That was close.
I have to tell you before you read anything else, Lee.
Okay.
All these cards make really hit home for me.
Mhm.
I mean,
Good.
really, really hit home. Like, sometimes people think this is a bunch of hooey, and this isn't real. It's just for show. But I tell you what, these cards are right on the money.
Good. 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 That's why they were all stuck together. Everything wants
Mhm.
to tell you something. Okay, so here's your beautiful card. Okay.
Okay.
Sunshine, love, and laughter are sometimes all you need and all you crave. Isn't that what you said, Blaine? When they come to you in plentiful supply, it's time to enjoy. Good financial fortune, your dream job, or your dream partner may be headed your way. Anything is possible when the passion for life burns so brightly within. You'll you will be seen. Wait a minute. You'll be seeing the best possible light by those around you. Niggling, Niggling, niggling. Aches and pains will fade. This card denotes a time of plenty, so take all you need from it. Be sure to take only what you need, as overindulging or greed can quickly flip the good times you're having to the opposite pole. Take care of material gains that come your way. Be generous. Give away surplus or put funds aside for the future. You're being urged to think ahead. You are being urged to think ahead so that you can manage better in leaner times. Remember, others will be attracted to your riches. Be wary of those who promise you the world for a share in your spoils, as they seldom deliver. Many Aboriginal people of the world consider the South to represent healing, fulfillment, and passion. This direction is associated with the element of fire and the season of summer. From the South comes great abundance and rich reward for efforts made in in material matters and love. This can be a double-edged sword, as too much of a good thing can prove costly and painful. So knowing when enough is critical. Your tomorrow will be provided for. Work hard. Your working hard will pay off. Time to reap the rewards. You have the Midas touch right now, something in yours for the taking. And here's your poem. Ignite your passion, let it grow. So much awaits for you to know. All your needs would now be met. 'Tis only greed that poses a threat. So there you go.
Wow. Well, all right. Here's confession time. So I used to go on convention circuits a lot, and I haven't gone to convention since pre-COVID. And I was just invited to go on another convention, which I may or may not do. But I don't like doing personal readings anymore. I mean, I still do them occasionally when I feel pulled to them, but that was mainly how I earn my living, through doing readings for people.
Right.
And I've kind of shifted gears a little bit. Not that I won't do them for people, but I just don't want that to be my main focus of using my gift anymore. Instead, I want to use my gift to help uplift people in a larger setting. So I've been pulled to start writing.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So
Now,
I,
Deb, one of the things too that I'm being told to tell you
what?
is the way you're going to use your gift now is you're going to mentor people that have gifts, especially children.
Oh yes.
Yes,
Oh my
that's what I'm
gosh, yes.
being told to tell you, because that's the path that me and Lee are on right now, writing a book on.
Well, good for you guys.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I since I was a little girl, if you were to ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I wanted to always be a writer. But, my parents were more set for me to have a job that had stability.
Yeah.
And so they never really encouraged that. But now I just feel I've been having these signs my whole life, like, you need to start writing these stories, because my own family tells me you have the best stories. And when we cross over, those stories go with us unless we
Yeah.
share them, right?
Thank you.
So I started thinking and formulating this plan, how I'm going to write my book, what it's going to be about. I just met with these two lovely ladies locally in Franklin, Tennessee, which, by the way, is the most beautiful little town. And they're my support team here locally. And I ran by my book idea with them. They said, yes, Deborah, yes, yes, yes. So I just started, putting an outline together, jotting some ideas down, running past my number one critic here, my husband. And when I say critic, not criticizing me, but he runs things through his brain and comes up with, that's wonderful, you should add this, that, and the other. I'm like, oh, okay. So I feel like this book is going to be more of a brain trust. Like, a lot of brains are be helping me in this project.
Yes.
But I'm going to share stories about my childhood and how it started clicking in my brain, like, you're not normal. like, this is not normal for a child to see this. Or, I've had signs throughout my life that have been pretty impactful. And looking back on my life, my own life review, I'm thinking, well, dummy, that was one of the biggest signs ever. And you're just not putting it together.
Yeah.
But we've had signs. All of us have signs through our life.
yeah.
But when you're in the moment of emotional high or low, we don't always recognize them. So I'm going to write about these signs I've had throughout my life and the emotional impact of these signs. And then part of my book will be how, as an adult, I use these gifts. And some of it might be some of the more heart-wrenching stories I've had to help people, or some of the more scarier paranormal investigations I've been on. But that's basically the formula for this book. And I really want to, I need to sit down like an hour every day. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's hard for me to sit down and write and just get it out there. But these cards all make so much sense that you just pulled, Lee, because
I'm so glad.
I feel like I need to be reborn. I'm doing my air quotations right now, as far as how I give my gifts to the world.
Well,
So
I'm also being told to tell you too that I call these upgrades. When you get a new gift, you got an upgrade. Yours just hit.
Yes, it did.
So my writing is the way to go, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And you've already given yourself the title of the book.
What, I'm not normal?
No.
None of us are normal.
I love being not normal. That means I'm not a sheep like everybody else. I'm myself.
I'm very abnormal.
That T-shirt.
I love being abnormal.
I tried to be normal once. The worst 2 minutes of my life.
You lasted a whole 2 minutes? I lasted about 10 seconds. No, that ain't for me.
It frightened me so bad.
Oh, that's Lord. Hilarious. Well, I just feel like if I write this book, and it's been in my mind for like the past 5 years, and I've been a great procrastinator because there's something in me that always held me back. Like, no one's going to care about your writing. No one's going to care about your life. And it's like this little voice in my head that's been eating at me. And finally, like, I just told myself, no, enough's enough.
Thank you.
I need to write this, and I don't care what anyone thinks. I don't need to worry about what people think about me. I'm writing from an authentic place, bearing my soul, so to speak. I'm going to be writing about some very vulnerable parts of my life, so people can relate. Like, we've all gone through horrific tragedies in life. And not to be a Debbie Downer, but if you haven't yet, you will eventually. We all have losses in life. We all have stressors in life. But it makes us who we are.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and bring on Brandon and Rex and Christopher.
Let me ask Deb one thing while we're bringing them on. Now, Deb?
Yes.
All right. This is what I'm being told. You've already named your book. It's called The Path of an Empath Medium from Childhood to Adult.
The Path of an Empath Medium from Childhood to Adult.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting that in the file in my brain, so I remember what you just said.
Yeah. I mean,
All
that's
right.
just what Janelle told me to tell you. You've already got that idea in your head,
Yes.
but she doesn't hold punches. She says, tell her to do this. I'm like, okay, yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah.
Jenna was a very strong woman.
Yes. That's what Blaine was telling me earlier before you got on the show, Lee. He's like explaining about his spirit guide. I'm like, I got a spirit guide too. It's kind of wacko, but I mean, I love him. I love him. My Ortega dude. Not the taco company, just Ortega.
I love her. I love hers. It's like, that sounds like something Janelle would say to me, but it'd probably be more crude.
Well, this guy has a very, very dry sense of humor, and he's very, very straightforward. And
Yeah.
he's my main guide, Ortega. And I've met
What a beautiful name.
Yeah, well, I was telling Blaine when he first came to me, he said, "I'm your main guide," and I couldn't quite hear his name. It sounded like Marego or Potego. I mean, I'm like, what are you saying? Is Ortega, but not like the taco company. And I started laughing. I'm like, oh, Ortega, okay.
My daughter has a spirit guide. Her name is Kelly with an E.
Kelly with an
Kelly
E.
got the E in there, and Mia was about 2 years old, maybe a little younger, when she told me Kelly with an E. And I'm not sure she knew what an E was at that time.
Right, right,
So it hit me kind of strong.
right,
But yeah,
right.
that's a whole nother story.
Oh,
Whole nother
yes.
story. So
Hello, everyone.
we have got Christopher Fisher, who comes in as a special co-host, a guest co-host, I should say, and he's a smart guy, super smart. He's my friend, and he's a sweet guy. And we also have Rex Nielsen. Yay, Rex!
Hi, everybody.
Rex did the illustrations on Tales in the Dark that I just released. It's a children's book. I hope you guys go get it because it's going to be so fun. I love being outside. I love camping. I love connecting with nature. I love bonding with the people I'm camping with. I have since I was little. And I was a Girl Scout. I went all the way through to be a Silver Leaf. Those of you that are Girl Scouts, wonderful. I used to remember my little, my honor and duty and is to guide and all that stuff. And I remember going to camp way back. And we had the best time there. And we used to tell ghost stories and I was just amazed that I was able to finally talk about things I saw. And everybody thought it was a story.
Oh, no.
It was fun. But anyway, all of these stories in my book are sorry, I'm doing a shameless plug, but it's a short little book and it's made for children over the age of 9, 10 years old. So little ones really don't need to try to read it.
Right.
It's a little too scary. Do you remember the one where there's something coming up the door and he's talking to me, bloody fingers, I hear steps down the hallway, is he gonna stop? Bloody fingers. And it gets to the little boy and the little boy says, get a band-aid and go to bed. Okay, well, that's very similar to what these stories are like. And we were able to research them, my husband and I, all the way back. And thank you, Blaine, for being my sounding board so much, because I wanted to upgrade the stories a little. Because, when you talk about legends, you got to add a little something to it. And I had to make it a little more modern. And so I'd call Blaine and say, how does this sound?
Right, right.
When we're laughing like crazy, And Rex brought them to life. So thank you, Rex. I
You're
love
very
it.
welcome.
He has a book out of his art. Do tell, Rex. Go ahead. I want everybody to know about it.
By the grace of God and Leah and Vicky, they approached me right after I did the illustrations for your books and said, we'd really like to publish a book of your art. And my first thing was, who gives a shit?
Yeah, he's like, nobody's going to want to see my stuff.
I totally can identify with that. I can totally identify with
Nobody's
that.
going to want to see my stuff. And I'm like, Rex, are you looking at the same pictures I'm looking at?
Yeah,
He's like,
exactly.
Yeah, but he did, and he's been selling them, and he's
And
he's
so,
he's part two's coming out.
yes, I will be submitting all those to her tomorrow. And I think there's 30 plus pictures I ended up doing.
Mm.
And I
Beautiful.
think there's 17 or 18 brand new ones, or even more. I threw a couple more in there today that aren't exactly like what else is in there, but they meant way too much to me for not to put them in this book. One especially, it was for my chamber. So
Yeah,
that one will definitely
I
go
love
in.
your art. Anybody looking for a tattoo, please buy Rex's art on Amazon. Any one of those would be beautiful.
And Rex is also doing the logo for mine and Lee's company, Sacred Intent, too. So,
Blaine, I think he's done it. He
all right,
sent me something and it just blew me away.
nice.
I don't want to reveal it on here. I want to show you first and then tell me what you think.
Hey, that's fine.
But it blew me away. So I think this might be it.
Which one was that one? I forgot.
I don't want to describe it. We'll release it next Monday, okay? We'll formally release it because it's it. That is it, I think. Well, of course, on my side, my vote is just yes. Yes.
I
And
trust your judgment. So, yeah, count me good, too.
Yeah, I
I
think
have to
you will
do
love it.
the cover for your guys' collaboration too. So,
Yes.
All right on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready for that. I'm so ready for that. So, Brandon, hello, my love.
he's
How are
muted.
you? He's muted. He's waving. Da, 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 da.
You're muted.
I am
There we go.
unmuted now.
There he is.
Okay.
This is our
Hello.
producer. This is Brandon Cooper, who is
Hi,
also
Brandon.
walking the red walk with us. And okay, so James Cunningham says hello from my haunted museum. And Margie Playlock says, hey Rex, hey Brandon.
Hey,
Hello.
Margie.
And
Hello, Margie.
yes,
Margie.
and
Hello, Margie.
Tracy Rizzo says she went to the kitchen and now it's party time where everybody's here.
Yeah.
So we are so happy to have you on, Deb. This has been amazing.
Yes.
I
Oh,
think your reading was just crazy good.
I'm still shocked. I really am. There's so much more to that reading that I'm not going to talk about on air. It's too personal, but
I know.
But it
those
hit home, did it
cards,
not?
it hit home in
Well-
more ways, and I think Lee's the only person that really understands because I reached out to her earlier this year with a bit of a situation going on in my personal life, and these cards are amazing. That's all I'm gonna say.
Good. Yeah, it's gonna be great. So Margie's sending love. She's got smiley faces and hearts. Gosh, Anna, hello. How are you? Thank you for listening and watching.
Yeah.
We've got quite a crowd.
Now,
Hello.
Anna, you asked a question here. I believe that some people are protected by their unseen ancestors. Well, that is true. You are protected by 7 generations on both sides, your mothers and your fathers. And
Well, I'm well covered because my dad's side are pretty hard ass. Just saying.
There you go.
you've got more protection around you than you actually know, because being an empath medium, we have a lot of stuff in the universe that protects us because we do have such vivid gifts. And I think it's cool as hell that we're protected by people we don't know and things we don't know about, but they're there.
Right.
I am collecting little stories. You can do just a small write up for haunted hospitals. They have been picked up for another season, and I'm helping collect those and sending them into the network for that. So if anybody has any spooky moments in a hospital, whether
Oh my
you are,
gosh.
if you're medical staff, if you are a nurse, if you're, any of those things, therapist, or if you were a patient, or if you were there with a family member that was a patient that's in the
I have a
hospital.
story for it. I'm just gonna share it on there real quick because I don't think this will make it because this was so long ago, Lee.
Uh-huh.
And I don't remember the name of the hospital, but I was in high school, and my boyfriend at the time, we've been dating for 2 years, was in a terrible car accident.
Oh,
And he was in the hospital, and I went to visit him, and I was by myself. And the nurse like, if you can get him up to walk around, that'd be great. Now he had such a massive brain injury, he was never really himself again. And when I was there with him at this moment, he could barely talk. It's like yes, no, and that's all he
my
could say.
God. That's
And so
horrible.
it was, but that was, that's part of just a life's journey. And so he gets up out of the bed. He has all his equipment. I forget what it's called. What's it when you're in a hospital? You have all the equipment hooked up to you. You have to
Yeah.
walk it.
The IV and all that.
Yes. So his IV, and we're walking, and he goes to the elevator and pushes a button. I'm like, all right, well, I'm just gonna let him walk. Nurse said let him walk as much as you can. So he pushes the elevator. I didn't pay attention what he pushed. All of a sudden, the elevator drops down. It's just he and I in the elevator. It opens up, and it's like this semi-dark hall. There's no one there. I'm like, all right. So we're walking down the hall. He immediately starts running, which is not even possible. I don't know how he did. He was like dragging a leg, carrying his IV, runs up to the door and starts banging on it with both fists. Bam, bam, let me in. Well, guess what that door was to?
What?
The morgue.
I thought so.
And I'm like, no. Nope on a rope. This is not happening. I was pulling him with all my strength away from him. He was fighting me. And now he had to have his chest opened up. He was sutured from his chest bone all the way down to his groin area. So he was not in any shape to be fighting, throwing punches, but I violently had to pull him away from this door. And thank God it was locked, or else you would see me running right out of that hall with or without him, because it was just a strange moment for me. But I never forgot that, because it was really, really eerie, and I knew something was trying to lure us in that morgue.
Holy crap.
Now, I wish I had more detail on that, but that's just a memory I have. I can't remember the name of the hospital or anything, but
That's all
every
right.
time.
None of that is ever covered. The location of the place is never.
But I
Well,
just want to share it with you real quick, because that was just a moment in time that to this day I remember so vividly. Like something was off in his hospital room from the get-go. But as we talked earlier, hospitals and funeral parlors, funeral homes are just no good for us.
No.
Nope.
And so I'm never comfortable in there anyway. So I just figured it's just a hospital. But then when he pushed the elevator and we dropped all the way down to the basement level, no one's down there. There's like one fluorescent light flickering in this dark hall, and he takes off to the other end of this hall and starts banging violently on this door. I'm like, holy crap, what is happening? And I see morgue written across the door. I'm like, oh no, 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 no.
Lord
Now, Deb, what
Almighty.
makes it worse? I was stuck in the VA hospital with an infection on my ankle where I had surgery at. So
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't. After I had surgery, I couldn't walk. I couldn't run. So a lot of stuff come in that room.
Right,
I was just like stuck. I couldn't do nothing.
right, right. It just is not good. I don't like being in hospitals in general. And every time I'm in a hospital, you don't sleep well normally. But when
Well,
you're people like us, you don't sleep at all.
no, because
So,
So, James Cunningham is doing chat with us, and he said he has a haunted lobotomy. He has haunted lobotomy equipment from a mental
what?
hospital and full tables with brain pieces from an operation.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I did the show with. That's insane. His museum is the true crime, truly haunted artifacts. That's cool. Thanks for sharing that with us, James. And there's other people saying they have stories. Thanks, Gwen. And Anne says that she is protected. And she's also tried to tell people that are trying to attack her to back off, that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. So James is saying we'll see it at the Deep South Paracon. Uh,
Yep.
the Deep South Paracon is Deep South Para Comic Con.
Hmm.
Okay, and you can go to Deep South Paracomic Con website, and all the information is there about it. It's going to be a fun time. Hold on, I'm going to go to the website and tell you exactly. It is 60 days, 12 hours, 34
Woohoo.
minutes, and 25 seconds before we go. This is a fundraiser for the Boys and Girls Club of Ozark, Southeast Alabama, and the 51st Legion, Vader's 51st Legion, will be in attendance. I cannot wait. I'm just saying that right now. I love me some Star Wars. Santiago Cirillo will be there. Sonia Thompson from The Walking Dead. The Ghost Biker Miranda Young. I'll be there. Blaine will be there. Um, David Childers, who did Haunted Hospital season 2. Great episode. You should watch it. It's also on Hulu, along with my show, Repossessed. Connie Koenig, who is a hypnotherapist. So I'm going to get with her and see if she can hypnotize me to get some of this weight off. We'll see.
Oh yes.
We've also got Jeff Leeper and Maria Player. He's an exorcist and is empath intuitive, is Maria, and they work together. They were featured on the show Repossessed. We've got the Fox family, Destiny and Michael Fox. We've got Jonathan Odom, who is a cryptids guy. So
Yeah,
that's,
he also runs Abnormal Alabama too. So
oh, I didn't know.
yeah,
Well,
I'm a member of that with him. So,
sweet. Maybe you could come to that one. That would be fun.
Talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, I'd love to. I would absolutely love to. When is that again?
Wait.
August 19th and 20th
Thank
All right,
you.
I'll
at the
write that
Ozark
down.
Civic Center in Ozark, Alabama.
Okay, I'll write it down.
That's going to
August
be so
19th.
fun. So it's August. Okay, and I'm supposed to go to the Gettysburg Bash, which is the 14th, 15th, and 16th of July.
Hmm.
And there's a huge roster. Gettysburg is one of my favorite places.
Oh,
Mine
me
too.
too.
I can't wait to go. Hopefully, I won't have any problems. I have surgery day after tomorrow.
Oh
So
no.
a little bit worried about, all of that. But so the Deep South Paracomic Con, like Blaine said, is Saturday the 19th of August and Sunday the 20th of August. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they'll have all kinds of things. They got vendors that sell food. They got vendors that sell stuff. They're doing a car show.
Yes.
There's what you call them rooms, escape rooms that'll be there, mobile escape rooms. It's going to have cosplay costumes, comic books, anything you could imagine for a big con like that. It's probably going to be there.
Yes. I'm very excited about going. My booth will not only have paranormal, but it will have things like from Marvel and lots of other comic book type things. I am a big, big nerd. I do cosplay, and I try to do a little gender bend of Loki. There is Lady Loki, but I don't really like her. I like him, and I think he's got more class, so I'm going to do that one. Okay. Also, my classes start on August the 22nd. So if anybody's interested in that, I am going to do them online. So what about you, Brandon?
He
Did he
left.
go? He left
Where's
us.
he at?
Okay, maybe he had to.
He said he got some phone calls to make tonight, so that's probably what he's doing.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem then. He is having a really awesome paranormal conference starting next year. He does a haunting at the mill, and it's in South Carolina at the Haygood Mill in Pickens, South Carolina. And he had a great one this year. It was his first annual, and it's really ramping up. He is looking for sponsors and vendors. So I will be there. Blaine will be there.
I'll be there.
Yes. And this I pulled for him about 15 minutes ago. And it's called The Staff. And you can see the guy, and he's got his staff there with him. And what that means is foundations. You guys, maybe he could just watch this later. I just want him to know I had pulled a card for him. Um, Staff means that you need to rely on the friends around you to understand a troubling situation in your life, see things from a totally different perspective. Um, it's about being able to rely on your friends. Well, and that's what he does. I really feel he does a good job with that.
Yeah, he does.
I was wondering why that didn't make sense. I was on the wrong page. Okay, the staff lends itself for you to lean on while you take stock of where you are on your journey. This vital equipment for you right now, as you seem to be walking on rather shaky ground and don't feel supported. Your journey has taken many twists and turns, although you've tried to remain focused. Your desired destination still feels out of reach. Choose staff as your companion, for it will accompany you back to your roots, and this is an opportunity for you to look where you have been and where you're going to go. He does that a lot with the projects that he works for people that have um, they need a good getaway, a clean start, and get some nice counseling and get away from everything off the grid. It's amazing what they do. I'll let him tell more about it. But interesting that he bought me my staff. I had not found my staff. I knew I needed it, and I've been needing it for over 15 years, and it just never came to me. And we were at a powwow, and he bought it for me and gave it to me. It's something that has to be gifted to you. And then he needed something in the same manner, so I bought it and gifted it to him. So it was a mutual, leg up. It was really nice. So, hey, Brandon. So the staff came up, and I was just telling them, Brandon, about the staff that you got and gifted to me. And I was thinking about the card for you. Lean on me, focus and wait, determine what to dissipate, strip beliefs back to the core. Strong foundations help you soar. So that means you got friends around you that love you. And I just thought it was really cool that you had given me the staff and it matched up. These cards are on fire tonight.
Yeah, they are.
Yes,
That's a
they
good stat you got there.
Thank you. Um, Margie saying she will be at the Haygood Mill again.
are. Of course she will.
So tell us a bit about how the Paracon's going.
Kind of still in the planning stages, but
Well, yeah, it's next year, but
but I have a tentative. So some of the speakers that I have, Jeremy Leonard, I believe, is going to return. Sam Baltrusis. I have Sarah Lemos from Travel Channel and Discovery Channel, Ghost Town Terror. She will be coming out and be a speaker. I have Alex Matsuo coming. I have Lee. I have
you've got
Blaine.
Alex coming. He just released a book. He's a really great guy. I invited him to be on the show. Very humble man.
I have several other guest speakers. I have Blaine going to come. I have Lee. I have Margie.
And Anne Marie Young is saying she hopes to come again.
Of
And
course.
James Cunningham says that you'd have to invite him. He has the haunted museum that he brings, and also escape rooms that are portable, so you could set up an escape room in a location there. Something to think about.
Yeah, definitely. And we're going to have Sexy Rexy, the Dragon Slayer.
The Dragon
Yeah, baby.
Slayer.
Yeah.
Rex
Yeah.
is like, oh, come on.
That beautiful bald-headed man.
I put him on the spot last year. I
Yep.
made him. I made him close out the Paracon. He was the last speaker.
You did a great job too.
Thank
I know
you.
You did a
So-
great job. Everybody was at your booth. He did a children's book with Aaron G. Thompson, and I was looking at it at his booth, and really cool stuff. And then he did mine, and he's doing my Cherokee book. He's doing our logo. So for those of you that are interested in an illustrator, you got one right here. He's very well trained, but here's the thing: he does this with pen and pencil. He doesn't
Yeah,
use
no
graphic
digital.
art. Yeah, no digital. It's old-fashioned stuff. So it's the real talent.
And it makes it even better because he's housebroken.
That's true.
Yeah.
Uh,
Brandon, that does mean we can still color in them too, though.
Right.
I-
It's true.
Yes.
I've been thinking about your Zen tangles, and I
Yes.
thought maybe you should do an adult coloring book.
That's on my list.
That would be so much fun.
Well, I got a
Hey.
couple of people that'll buy that. Like they'll be like, here, take my money.
That's where
They
I'm
love
at.
doing adult comic crayon books.
I also want an adult. When I say adult, I don't mean this in a
I'm not.
sexy way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like a Patrick
I
and
would-
Wawa way. Or?
yeah, no, not that kind.
No,
That's the wrong
I'm
kind.
not going there.
Shoot.
That's
But
that's a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother network.
when I said Tales in the Dark to my husband, he said, "Lee, what have you written? What did you do?" I was like, "What?" He said, "They're in the dark," and I was like, "That's not that kind of book."
Did you ever show Matt the pictures I sent the other day? You still
have
haven't.
not. No, I put them away. I'm very protective, but
And
I shall.
Also, speaking of come take my money, tickets are on sale now for the Haunting of the Mill Paracon, March 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of next year.
How many sponsorships are still available, and how many vendor tables? Because I know this thing has been building.
Yeah, well, I'm looking for sponsors. I have it cost wise is probably going to be around 10 grand to pull everything off. So I'm always looking for sponsors, and my main sponsor had to back out for personal reasons. So I'm looking for anything from the small mom and pop to the big dog that wants to be the main sponsor. I'm looking for everything.
Okay, well that's good. Good to know.
Yep.
I'm sponsoring him.
Yes.
Yes, I am. Been putting money away from the sale of my book.
That's so sweet of you. You're awesome. Well, Deb, the Haygood Mill has got petroglyphs on just from thousands of years ago, and they're very, very unique.
huh.
They have almost an alien type of flair to these drawings. Etching,
Right.
scratching with a rock on a rock, kind of a thing. And it was discovered. It was by the road. It was just a discovery, and everybody saw it and was like, "Oh, we've got to protect these." And they built a museum over the top of it to prevent, the erosion or the weather or whatever from taking it away from us. These are amazing, and people need to understand how amazing the Haygood Mill is. This is indigenous land. This is ceremonial land. That's where our powwow was. We have the sacred fire there. There's cabins there, and you can have activities in these cabins, but they're built the old ways, the little hatchet kind of thing. And it's a beautiful place. You can walk through the gardens. There's chickens. So
there's the link for the tickets.
There we go. So if you come, it's not just seeing the Paracon.
Right.
It's also seeing the property, seeing the ceremonial grounds, hearing the stories. People, talk, and their vendors. You never know what you're going to find. We had people with haunted objects. That wasn't me. They had some other folks that came a really long way with some really, really cool things. Lots of books, lots of equipment. Yeah, there's one of them.
Wow.
Yes, of course I bought a haunted doll. Why not?
Mine's out in the living room.
Right.
I have a couple, but they're ones that people called me and was like, "Yo, come get this thing. Something's wrong with it." So I actually have 3 new objects that I'm bringing to Deep South, the Deep South Paracon. It will be coming with me to the haunted Haygood Mill Paracon too. I have a haunted mirror that was used for scrying.
Are
And
these objects from the show or
no,
okay?
no, these are, people saw the show and then called me. And my dad was the same way. He was a herpetologist and mammologist. People would call Dad when, crap was hitting the fan. So
Yeah.
they'd call him, come get this snake out of my house, or whatever. So, I've fallen in his footsteps in a different way. His stuff, would bite and it had fleas and it might, make noises and hard to handle. Mine are, a whole lot less physical.
Right. Dangerous in a different way. but-
Totally different way, yeah. So, Christopher, have you been listening to or participating in any other shows? I know you go to several paranormal networks and you help out and do the chat room for them.
Not lately. This has been my primary source, so to speak.
Well, I appreciate it. We appreciate you coming, and we love your input. We're gonna just keep that link that I sent you because that'll get you in. It's not going to change. Okay. Everything looks different for me when I log in, so we'll have to look at that. I had a lot more abilities before, but I did a clean thing on my computer, and now I got a boo boo. So James is saying, "Me too." From Moffat
The only
Family and the
eventful, the only eventful thing that happened to me online, I got a link to watch bug zappers with wasps.
oh, okay.
That was fun to see.
Guys, do you mind if I? Oh, he's got a summoning bell. James said he has a summoning bell that was an unwanted. It was unwanted investigation by the Warrens from the Moffat family. I might
Wow.
be it. So there's a lot of things he's got. Okay, Margie, you said you wanted a card reading. Are you there? She needs it. She's got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, and I got
And-
another one for you to do too when you're done with Margie.
And
don't
by
think-
the way, Lee, after the show, we can get you back on to StreamYard so you can get back to being able to do more stuff. That's easy.
Sweet. Okay, Margie. Hold on. It wasn't right. Two stuck together.
We know the rule.
Yep. All right. Oh, how beautiful. Oh, I have never seen this one before. Okay, Ann, I see what you're saying. I got you covered, girl. The first card is feathers. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, yes.
Okay, and I got to take my glasses off. I can't see with my glasses. This is restoration, Margie. Tell me that that's not right on target. Oh, my God. Okay, let's talk a bit about restoration. I hope that all of you, I need to do a card for everybody. Where? Okay, feathers. Oh, I hear your baby.
Yeah, he's here.
I was about to say,
I can see.
I was about to restart the show. We can't not do the show, without the cat.
He's
What's his
here.
name?
Baby Kitty.
Baby Kitty. Yeah, Margie's saying restoration. Feathers have fallen out on your path. This card comes to you as a spirit teacher or guide. As a message from nature, feathers ask you to be gentle with yourself right now. You've recently endured a rough ride and you're still ruffled. However, feathers bring assurance that you have or will soon land softly. Allow yourself to rest among comforting plumage while feathers gently strokes away any doubts and worries you have collected along the way. Feathers recognizes your bravery as a warrior who's returned from battle and needs rest. She said she's finding feathers everywhere. The great spirit and the bird from which the feathers came are here to nurture you. Feathers brings you connection, support, and perspective. Allow the medicine of feathers to gently restore and sweep your energy field with the qualities you require to fly. Oh, she's crying. Bless her heart. You are linked to the spiritual energy of the bird that gifted the feather. For example, a raven feather represents magic, rebirth, transition, and renewal. Contemplate this type of feather that's come to you. In many indigenous tribes, particularly those of the Americas, feathered robes are worn in ceremonies and rituals to invoke and connect with the sky gods. The ancient Egyptians and Aztecs believed the feathers of sacred birds were spirit messengers. Native American feathers could represent the power of the wind and the thunder beings. Within many belief systems, feathers come as spirit guides and teachers awaiting your response and are used in healing to promote well being by sweeping specific qualities from someone's energy field. You need a softer approach. Don't be so hard on yourself and others. A period a period of rest and restoration and rebirth is due. You'll soon be soaring high. See a situation from a bird's eye perspective. Falling feathers brings confirmation that you've been waiting for. I fall softly to the ground with a message to be found. Listen to what the spirits say as I sweep your tears away. Wow.
That's awesome.
Yes, she's endured a great hardship, so that she needed that one. And the drum, every drum awaits its destined keeper. The drum appears to you now because of your struggle to quiet the chit chat of your mind. The drum will connect you to memories of your mother's heartbeat, the cosmic mother, and ancient rituals and ceremonies of your past life. The sound, energy, and vibration of this spirit horse is waiting to awaken the primal sound you've been subconsciously searching for, that is lost sound of your soul. The drum is offering to take you to other worlds you've been longing to explore. With simple beats, the sounds and vibrations of the drum will enable your logical left brain to deter to the creative right brain, which allows you to relax in the zone where mystery awaits. The drum is your companion on your journey of awakening. And it says the spirit horse held frame drums date back 43,000 years. In Exodus 15:20, Miriam, a prophetess and the sister of Moses, played a handheld drum as she crossed the Red Sea, and all the women went out after her, drumming and dancing, rejoicing in a trance at the miracle of the parting of the sea. Drumming is a foundation tool of communication, healing, and prayer. Pray with me before we start. We'll journey deep into your heart. Invoking trance, awaken your soul. We drum as one until you are whole.
So true.
We're here with you, Margie. We love you.
Yes, we do.
I'm right here with you, baby. And the last one is birth. It is the renewal. I was just trying to do one card and all this came out. I'm sorry, y'all.
No, that's what the universe is telling you to pick 2 cards.
Yes. All right. I also want to ask you guys to be thinking of me. I've got surgery on Wednesday. Margie says thank you and I love you all. Birth is about the death of old and the emergence of new. The transformation will strip away feelings of guilt, fear, and shame. You will face a life-threatening event at least once in your journey, and such an occurrence has the potential gift to give you newfound abilities and strength, thus removing the fear and pains that have held you back for far too long. It takes abundance. Wait a minute. It takes absolute trust and great strength of a character to step from your comfort zone into the unknown. How many times have you said that, Margie? Wow. This is not the way of the shaman. It's time to look at why you may be suffering a reoccurring injury or illness or depression or situation and write down what you're experiencing. Oh, there's a book here. You hear it?
Mm-hmm.
There's a book here, Margie. Write down your emotional reactions. With the eyes of a shaman, look deeper. What lessons could be learned from this? What did you gain from your current approach? The anger and pain sensations will be forgotten when a beautiful new form emerges from the seeds of your experience. Spirit is calling you to freedom, a new way it beckons. And here's your poem. Wake up, now is the time for you to rise. Take off the mask, drop the disguise. Healing beckons, greet the dawn. New life is waiting to be born. Wow. All right, girl, that's all for you.
Now, Lee, we did have one more that asked for a card reading, and that was Miss Anne Marie Young.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
Margie just gave a title to her book from the reading. This
right on.
this is incredible. She said Tears from the Soul is the title.
That's awesome.
Oh, I got chills all over me, girl.
Yeah, me
Yes,
too.
yes, girl, yes. Write
Good
that
go, Margie.
book. Yes.
I think that's tonight's theme, right? We're all
Yes.
trying to write these books about our life experience, and I
Yeah,
feel that's a wonderful way to help others because
sure.
sharing your own story is just an
Yes.
amazing thing to do.
And
And
especially because that radiates with other people that are having the same experiences as you, and
Exactly.
don't, especially being an empath medium. We both, all three of us, grew up as child prodigies in this stuff,
yes.
Yeah. Yep.
and we had no help.
Well,
And
No.
now we can offer the help that we were not given.
Right.
Like
Because
I said, if you touch one person's life by writing that book was worth every word you wrote.
every cent.
absolutely.
Yeah,
And there's many things that are called uh the riches of life. You know what I'm saying? The things that
Right.
are profit, that you profit from, is not always monetary. So don't
No.
worry. Just get the word out there. Be passionate about who you are, what you've been through, and what you can do to teach others. God bless
Yes.
you.
yep.
Oh my goodness, we've got one. Brandon, is it okay if we go over a little bit? I hope so, because I totally
Yeah,
enjoyed the time.
he's over there getting Mama T's going. So yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'm still
No
here, so
problem.
we can
Thank
keep
you,
going.
Rex. I
Yep.
won't be long, but
Oh, don't worry about it.
all right. So, what am I doing, Blaine?
Um, so,
Anne
now we
Marie.
were talking about people writing their books for the reason, and I think that's great because now you can get stuff that you guys could help other people with. Not only it's going to make yourself stronger for putting this out there, you're going to change somebody else's life because of it.
My grandmother was 98 years old, and she told me these stories of her investigating with her mother, which would be my great grandmother.
What are you doing?
And I wrote it all down during quarantine. I wrote it all. I would, if you go to Microsoft Word, if that's what you're using to write in, and you look up at the top, and it's the newest version, there's a dictate button. It looks like a microphone, and you can speak to your computer, and it types it for you.
What?
So if with you writing your book, I wanted to tell you, Deb, if you are going down the road and it hits you, download a voice recorder on your cell phone. You
Yes.
know, and then just record yourself talking, and when you get home, play it to your computer and let it type it up for you.
I have so many moments in time where I think, oh, I should write that down.
And
And
then
I,
when you get there, it's like, what did I say? What did I
yes,
say?
yes.
So capture those moments, and that way you can get it done. I sat at the dinner table with Mama Jenny a long time, and I just get her talking. I just ask her questions, and then I just hit that button, and everything that I had that happened with her and her mother, she wrote with her own voice. And I did that because I didn't want her great grandchildren to miss who she was.
Absolutely.
So you've got the same thing. You have a legacy, Deb. You have a legacy, and your children are as gifted as you are.
Yeah. Thank
Pass
you.
it down. Pass
Thank
it
you.
down. Yes.
And hopefully someday my great my grandchildren, my great grandchildren will read it.
Yes, write it down. Write it down. You might want to get one of those books that you can record, and then you could do a story and record reading it, and then you just have it ready. So it's a great.
Oh,
It works so good. But Margie said she texts herself so she doesn't forget.
that's
Yeah.
a good idea too.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What a
And the
great.
cool thing is, every one of the new phones has a recording device on it, so you
Yeah.
can dictate to yourself, and it'll save the file. And if you want to transfer it over to something else, just plug in like your charger, plug
Yep.
it into a computer, transfer the file over. There you are. Copy and paste into the Word.
Just
Oh, that's
but don't do
brilliant.
it very big. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a big file in your phone.
Okay.
So do bits and stop, just like EVPs.
Yep.
You
Okay.
have it's far too big to try to do.
So
Yeah,
you don't want me just going blah 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 for an hour. Got it.
yeah. Don't do that.
Okay, got it. Got it.
All right. So who am I reading for, Mister
You read Anna Marie Young. Anne Marie, I'm sorry.
Anne Marie Young? Here you are, girlfriend. All right. Oh, I've got a really good feeling for you. You got something good coming up. My belly's wiggling. I feel butterflies.
You too?
Yeah, it's good
I know
stuff.
it ain't hungry because we had a good dinner.
Yeah, yeah. All right. I managed to pick up 2 this time. Or is that 3? What does that say? Oh, yes, of course. Now, don't panic when you see this thing, okay? Here we go. This does not mean anything negative. It's death, okay? But this means transmigration is what this means. It doesn't mean you're about to croak, okay? And this one is the next card, and it's called Plant Medicine, which is the truth. You're on a destination. You're on a journey to a specific destination. This is a big one, okay? Death. I actually love that card because it means to me something big is coming. And okay, I do have a Venmo and a Cash App if you guys ever want to donate something. I don't charge for readings. I never have, never will. But if you feel like you are so led to do that, you're welcome to. It helps with being able to get the paracons and things like that. But don't think that I'm asking for money because I'm just saying I have this thing, and if you want to do it, yay. If you don't, okay. All right, here we go, Anne Marie. Oh, you have a similar deck. Very cool. Don't be afraid, for the death card marks the beginning as well as the end. You've been avoiding of letting go. You have been avoiding letting go for fear of losing something that you hold dear. The death appears now to encourage you to let go and let God, basically, is what this thing means, okay? Death encourages you to let go of old patterns and behaviors that are no longer welcome and to take a risk. Fear has prevented you from experiencing the new life you've been longing for. Shamanic knowledge of the transference of energies enables the skill, knowledge, and wisdom acquired through experience and lessons learned with your journey. Your guides from the spirit world will remain by your side through your transmigration, ensuring you that you will emerge wiser and more powerful than ever before. You do face a change, and you're leaving behind the old. Okay, Marcus, Aurelius, Aurelius, Aurelius. That's it, Marcus Aurelius. Believe,
Marcus Aurelius, yes.
Aurelius.
just show off. Just go right ahead. what the heck?
Hey,
All
you're
right.
talking to a guy that's got a history degree. Come on.
Mark, say it again. Aurelius.
Marcus Aurelius.
Oh, yay. Marcus Aurelius believed in the transmigration of souls and the indestructibility of matter. The Pythagorean philosophy taught students of the ascent of the soul towards the one. Plato and Socrates implied that the relocation from one life body to another, meaning that we survive death. Ooh, I thought you were going to get this one, Deb. I really did. That's crazy,
Yeah.
because of what we've been through. But
Yes.
the Druids taught a doctrine of reincarnation, that life knowledge could be passed to another adept or student. Newborns are often recognized as the soul of an ancestor within tribes, native tribes, and clans. So let go and surrender. Your tendency for control does not serve you anymore. Change your perception and the bigger picture. Everything is working out perfectly. Familiarity is not a reason to hold on to the old. You are strong and a new life awaits. You're ready. Just trust. Okay. Surrender fears and doubts to me. Transmigration is the key. A new form now awaits for you. Death ends the old to start anew.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep. But she just said she's starting a new show. So there you go. There's
That's it.
your new adventure, your new plan.
So whatever you
Cosmic,
did before,
the universe is working
yes.
in your favor right now. So good.
All right. This is plant medicine. Blaine, you might have to chime in there, buddy.
Okay.
And thank you for starting the show for me.
Hey, it's our show. That's why I love doing it.
Yeah. Okay. This one is plant medicine. A controversy means you're not what you deem as. Wait. A controversy means you are not sure what to deem as truth. It's like you've been fed false news. Shaman use plant medicine and journey work to induce visions and heighten clarity. Plant medicine is a far cry from synthetic pills and potions abundant today. When plant medicine is passed to you, you have the option to accept it or reject it. Do you want your life to remain as it is? Are you ready to seek the truth? To distinguish between the day state and clear reality, indulge in the awakening that plant medicine can bring. If you're brave and you want to adventure, and you're prepared to lose false comfort, plant medicine can bring you a stark understanding of who you are. The veil between worlds is ready to be torn down so that you might discover that which is deliberately hidden in plain sight. Plant medicine will lead you to the path of truth from which there is no return. Shamans, that just kind of repeats. The use of plant medicine predates written human history.
Yes.
Archaeological evidence indicates that humans have been using herbs for over 60,000 years.
Probably longer.
Awaken as I take you deep. My truth reveals you've been asleep. You'll see the world with bright new eyes. Assist those who still live with lies. So I feel like there's been some betrayal, and because of that, there's been a heartbreak, and you are stripping away some old, and you're doing a new rebirth. And I'm very happy for you. I'm happy that you've been able to cut the crap, chick. You've been able to cut the crap. I'm so glad you're starting your new show. If you need any help, if you need cheerleaders, let us know. I'm here for you, girl. I'm here.
Yeah, me too.
Yes. All right. So, Blaine, it's your time. Do it. Do it. Do it.
All right, guys. I do this every week on the show. Okay, if you're thinking about committing suicide, okay, please call someone. Please talk to someone. There's always somebody that can talk you down.
Yes.
Don't do this alone. Okay, do not do this alone. And my biggest problem is with veterans, and I'm a veteran myself, and so is Brandon, is that we don't think we have nobody to talk to. That's wrong. You always have. Now, you can dial this number called 988. It's for veterans or non-veterans. But you're calling this as a helpline. It is not run by like 18, 19-year-old kids working telemarketing. This actually has psychiatrists, psychologists, religious leaders from all different faiths. They are professional, and they're here to help. And if you don't feel like talking to them, you can text them.
Yes.
Or you can call myself, you can call Lee, you can call Brandon, you can call any of us on this show. We will help talk to you. I have no problem if you call me, and I've helped 3 veterans so far, but because I do this every week on this show. That one of them actually called me back, says, I don't know what you did, Blaine, but I can see clear now. I got a new job. My wife's talking to me again. I quit drinking. I quit doing the stupid stuff I was doing. I am a normal person again. I still have my bad moments, and that's to be expected because post traumatic stress disorder is something that will never go completely away. There's ways you can help deter it some, but it's never going to go away completely. Um, please, please call somebody if it's if it's a father or a brother or a wife. Talk to somebody, and if they're not working to talk with you, find somebody else, but keep trying. Because you can ask me and Lee, we've talked, and probably Deb too, is we've
Yes.
talked to spirits that have committed suicide. They're not ever happy, ever.
No,
Ever.
no.
They regret what they did. They didn't realize what effect it would have on their families, their
Well,
friends.
they broke their contract with God.
Yeah,
That's the bottom line.
and that I
Eh,
always say too. Like everybody was put on this earth for a reason. Okay, if you commit suicide, you might not have did what you were put on this earth to do yet. Yours could have been something where you gave somebody a kind word, or you helped somebody out that was in trouble. But you just went ahead and just took the easy way out. And I saw this thing the other day when I was getting my new ID card for work because I work for the military. I saw a sign and it said suicide is not the solution. And I strongly believe that because and me and Brandon are both, and Lee too, because she's married to an active duty person right now.
Yes.
And it pains me to see, and we usually show this video on here with this gentleman is having so much issues with his post traumatic stress disorder. They got him a doctor, and then the doctor went out of network.
Yeah.
So he had no one else to talk to, and this guy is begging and pleading on his video to please. He's begging for help, and I understand that some of the VA systems they're getting better, but there are still some systems that are so overloaded with mental health issues that they can't handle them all. So they're farming them out to other psychiatrists and psychologists. And if they do that, you're in their system. And I can tell you this from what that young man was saying. It's hard. Once you've got a psychiatrist you can talk to, okay, you've already spilled your guts to him, which is hard for us to do anyway because, we're mentally taught that everything's okay in the military. That you just man up and just go with the flow. But when you get somebody like that and you've already told your story, it is hard to tell the first person you got. Now you get a new doctor, you got to relive that whole story again, and it just brings back all these memories and all your triggers start popping back up in your head, and it is. Yeah, it is. I guess it's a macho thing for us guys that we don't supposed to talk about our feelings and what's happening. No, don't think that way. You're no less of a man if you do go talk to somebody because it will help you.
Well, let me take a little turn with this too. I have PTSD for I was victimized, and my anger swells up inside me and despair, and it's hard. It's just really hard. I have nightmares. I've got a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things that's happened. My husband's helped me through a lot of it by teaching me how to defend myself in every kind of way and how to look for bad things, different things that may make me a victim. But still, those memories are there and they don't go away. So, you know, soldiers are taught to compartmentalize. Let's put this in a box. We'll deal with it later. I'll unpack it later. I've got to drive on. Drink water. Drive on. That kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And I feel like I did some research about. I've been researching a lot about suicide, and suicide is a form of control. When you feel like your life is out of control and you can't grasp it, suicidal thoughts come in to play, and it's just a way of trying to control it, to stop it,
Yeah.
try to get control of your life. There are other ways to do that. You're looking at everything as a whole, and your emotions are starting to surround you, and your fears are making you have these feelings, fears that may have happened another time, maybe in service. Maybe for me, it's when I was victimized and how I was so naive and went into a situation, and how I had survivor's guilt on top of it. So, there's a lot. And when those feelings start to come back, you don't pull up a chair, pop popcorn and watch it. You've got to learn to give it away and realize, like Deb has been saying through this whole show, this is part of the journey of life.
Yes.
What did you learn from it? What is your takeaway? That's how you wrangle this. Don't sit there and go through the feeling and just say, okay, well, this happened next, and go through your whole memory of it all. Start doing some favors for yourself, like videoing yourself talking about this thing that happened to you. Be very
Or
creative. If you're
or
in
even
mind,
I'm
don't
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
do
you,
it.
Lee.
Do it, Deb.
Or simply writing it down if you don't feel comfortable sharing your traumas.
There you go.
Simply writing it down. You don't have to reread it. Just write it down and get it out of your mind, out of your system, so to speak. And you can burn it. You can bury it in the earth. But just by writing it down, it for me, it physically feels like I'm taking that burden off.
Yeah,
And
it
I
does.
love
and
that. Yes,
That's beautiful, Deb.
I
and
like
if
that.
and if you don't want to share with someone, you don't have to. You don't have to share it with anyone. But for you and your own mental well-being, you have to acknowledge that this event happened to you. You're no longer a victim. You're writing it down. This is what happened to me. I learned from this and I'm done with it. I'm burying it in the earth, or I'm setting it on fire and sending it to God to lift off of me. So
Right
there's
on.
many techniques you can do, but just find a technique that works for you and do it.
Well,
Yeah.
I will say this. I talked with Robert Young. He was a psychiatrist, retired from the VA hospital in New
Hmm.
York. And he said that he has been able to trace back some, basically, it's some sort of there's geomancy and lots of different types of witchcraft uh, from the Middle East. I don't know exactly how to phrase it because it's his research, but basically they're curses that have been placed on our soldiers, and they're following them home. And then, that is not necessarily something that our first responders deal with, but there's things here that's just as bad. So you do need to look at it from a spiritual level. Anne Marie is saying you have to feel it, hug it, forgive yourself, and cut the cord with love and let go.
Yeah.
Yes,
Are
yes,
There are cord cutting ceremonies that you can do with yourself. You could take a rope and go around yourself, or you could. Well, I have a friend. This is what he did. I was going to say you take it and you tie it to two candles, and then when it burns to a certain point, it breaks and lets go, and then you have to let go when that happens. Just let it go. But spiritual warfare is real. It's very
yes,
real, and it happens. It
yes,
follows you. It's not just the memories. And there's a lot of people that are first responders, like Rex. He's a retired sheriff's deputy. Things that he's seen, things that he's felt. My son-in-law is a fireman. I'm not even going to talk about some of his experiences. Never the names, of course, but just what he's dealt with. We have to know how to let go and let the Creator heal us. That we were part of that situation, but that does not define us.
Yeah.
So
yes,
just remember that suicide is your way of trying to take control of an uncontrollable situation.
Yeah.
But if you claim control over it and you're able to, like I was going to say, a friend of mine that was a Korean veteran, what he did was he would write it on toilet paper with a Sharpie marker, wipe his butt with it, and flush it because that's what it was worth.
Yeah.
right.
You
No,
had to learn to get rid of it.
I've heard people doing it too. They write it on toilet paper and flush it down the toilet, and I
Yeah,
think that's hilarious
I think
and
it is
very
too.
effective.
But
Hey,
it is effective because
it
you're
is.
literally taking the shit out of your body away from you.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah, this guy was not a spiritual person like us that told me to do this, but he said that's what it's worth. You've got to let it go,
Yeah.
and that was his little way of doing it. I thought it was great. So we have a new couple of new people that have joined us. You'll be able to watch the show after we close.
Yeah.
How can people reach out to you, Deb?
They can reach out to me on Facebook is fine, or they can reach out to me on my website, which is just real simple, deblance.com.
Love that.
So yeah, and I don't do that many public events anymore, but I do them locally,
Right
and
on.
I do about four a year in Franklin, Tennessee, with Franklin Walking Tours, and she has what she calls her her psychic walk, which is where we go to a location, and I just relay what the spirits are telling me at that location, and often spirits are coming with the clients there, and I do readings for the people in the audience. It's kind of a 2 for 1. I'm giving a little bit of ghost stuff, and I'm also sharing with them what their spirit guides want to share with them. So
Awesome.
I really enjoyed that. This is like my cup of tea.
Yeah.
And we had an amazing last one, which was on a battlefield in Franklin. And
Wow.
oh my gosh,
Been to that battlefield many times. I just live like 2.5 hours from you. I live in just north of Montgomery, Alabama. So
oh
I
really?
come through
Wow.
Franklin every time we go to my wife's house in Illinois, my wife's mother's house in Illinois. So
Well, next time you drive through Franklin, hit me up
I
because
sure will.
there are some amazing locations. And last time we did this event, we did not do a walking tour. We just stayed in one location, which is on the battlefield. And a lady in the audience took a picture. And when she took the picture, I was describing the soldier who was standing around me. She takes a picture, and in the picture, you see the soldier.
That
And it was amazing. Like that blew my mind because we see stuff that other people don't, but there it is on camera. So
that's awesome.
Wow.
And that's the ones that usually catch stuff like that. The people that aren't into this stuff every time, they see the shows on TV. They'll go to an event and they'll get some of the best audio, some of the best pictures, some of the best
yes,
video because they're walking in there with enthusiasm and anticipation, and they're just the spirits are just thriving on that energy. I love to
yes.
have somebody that's never investigated go with us. It's probably bad I call them bait, but
Well, you're being very honest.
I'll tell them that too. I said, okay, your first few investigations, you're always going to be bait. Then I'll upgrade you, and you'll be an investigator.
All right, so I'm ready to do our blessing and we'll close for tonight. This is the fire blessing. And since we've talked about in Deb's reading, we talked a lot about the South and, the heat, the fire being part of a new birth. And I'm claiming that for all of us that we are letting go of any negativity and we are receiving a positive blessing. So may the fire be in your thoughts, making them true, good, and just. May it protect us from the evil one. May the fire be in our eyes. May it open our eyes to share what is good in life. We ask that the fire may protect us from what is not rightfully ours. May the fire be on our lips so that we may speak the truth in kindness, that we may serve and encourage others. May it protect us from speaking evil. May the fire be in our ears. We pray that we may hear with a deep, deep listening, so that we may hear the flow of water in all creation and the dreaming. May we be protected. May we be protected from gossip and from things that harm and break down our family. May the fire be in our arms and our hands so that we may be of service and build up love. And may the fire protect us from all violence. And may the fire be in our whole being, in our legs and our feet, enabling us to walk the earth with reverence and care, so that we may walk in the ways of goodness and truth and be protected from walking away from what is the truth. Thank you for listening to Family Spirit International.
Thank you for having me.